So how great is this? This is the 49th annual West Shore Community College Student Awards presentation, which means for 49 years we've been doing this. We pause in the middle of all the hard work that we do and celebrate the excellence of our students. It's a really cool thing, and it has me really excited. I have no particular credentials to be up here other than I love learning, and I like what you guys all do, and so they let me do this. Success in higher education is challenging enough. Success in higher education is challenging enough, but you folks that are here didn't just succeed. You excelled. Hi, my name is Sean Henney. I'm a professor of English and education, and I want to take a little English professor digression on that word excel. Okay? So the word is excel. It comes from Latin. The X means beyond. Cell comes from Celsius, which is the word for lofty or tall. So all you folks tonight are beyond tall, beyond lofty in your excellence. So anyway, here tonight to help us celebrate your loftiness is our new Vice President of Academics and Student Services, Dr. Mark Kinney. This past year has been Mark's first year with us, leading academics at West Shore Community College, and has been in many ways, he's been a student just like all of you. He's had to learn about West Shore. He's had to learn about our systems and our structures and our styles of learning, and so he's like you. The cool thing is we've got to see him do this, and we've got to see him bring his energy and his enthusiasm and his slight geekiness to this. My favorite part about Mark is when I say, look, we need to figure out how our students are succeeding and why they're succeeding. He says, well, that's all about data points. And my eyes glaze over, but his get fired up, right? This data point stuff. We've been valuing his expertise as a scholar and administrator, his tremendous energy and work ethic, and to balance it all, his appreciation for all things NASCAR, video games, and bacon. Help me welcome to the stage Dr. Mark Kinney.
Thank you for the kind introduction. So as was mentioned in my introduction, I was fortunate enough to join West Shore Community College in July, actually. And when I was first asked to speak to you today, one of the suggested topics for my talk was kind of some reflections on my first year here. So I thought quite a bit about what exactly I would say to summarize my first year and what I would say to an exceptional group of students like you all. And in the end, I decided to simply tell you how lucky we all really are. First, we're lucky to be a part of such a beautiful community and such a beautiful part of the world. If you've grown up in this area your entire life, you probably don't realize just how beautiful and special this area really is, but I assure you that this is a gem that much of the rest of the world just simply cannot match. I've been blessed to always have lived in beautiful areas, and I cannot count how many young people I have seen make the mistake of moving somewhere else, thinking that the grass will be greener, and that they would somehow become something greater if they just lived somewhere cool like Chicago or Florida. But where you live does not change who you are. And where you grow up does not define your potential. So obviously pursue real and honest opportunities as they present themselves to you, even if that does mean moving somewhere else. But do not fool yourself into thinking that a different location is itself an opportunity. Even for those of you who have lived here your entire life, appreciate the beautiful part of the world that we live in and genuinely feel a sense of pride about your hometown. You are lucky. The second reason we are lucky is because we are a part of West Shore Community College. So like with my first point, people often who grow up in a particular area always make the mistake of believing that the local college must be somehow inferior to those from other institutions in other parts of the world. So students from Town A think highly of Town B's college or university, and students from Town B think highly of Town A's college or university, while they both tend to think poorly of the local institution that they have. It's completely irrational and actually quite hilarious, but it happens all the time. So there's actually an old saying that you can never be an expert in your hometown. And that's partly because the people who see you grow up in diapers never think of you in another light, right? And actually, a funny aside, I once actually became the boss for somebody who was a babysitter for me when I was an infant and changed my diapers, so that was an incredible mindset shift that I had to accomplish with that one particular person. This is obviously a false mentality, but we do it all the time, and we do the same thing with the local colleges. So I've been fortunate enough to do quite a bit of traveling in my time, And I've worked with college faculty and staff from a wide range of institutions, both large and small, both in the United States and beyond. And I can tell you that West Shore Community College is just as good or better in a lot of respects than a lot of the colleges and universities you'll find in other towns. Do not make the mistake of thinking that you are just going to West Shore. Once again, take pride in having gone to this college. I promise you will one day realize what a great opportunity it actually was. You are lucky. Thirdly, you are lucky because you are some of the best and brightest students from this great community college. You are the highest achievers who have proven that you have the ability to be successful. Our hope and goal at West Shore is that this is just one of many future successes for you, and that every day we come to work, we are striving to find new ways to help more students be successful, just as you have been. I have dedicated my career towards education and trying to find ways to help students be successful, not only while they're in college, but even more importantly, once they have left college. I've had the opportunity to do extensive research on the roles and impacts of rural community colleges like this one, and I've worked on the development of exciting new educational models like the teaching of robotic programming over the internet. But in reflection on what actually makes students be successful, I'm reminded of the first ever advisory board meeting that I attended as a fresh young college administrator. So for those of you who are not familiar with an advisory board, it's a group of employers, former students, and community members and other educators who come together to talk about a particular academic program to make sure it is still preparing students for the needs of the current workforce. So during my first of these meetings, which happened to be in regards to computer information systems, I remember entering the meeting fully expecting that I would hear directly from employers that program graduates needed to improve on skills like relational database management, programming, or my personal favorite that is quickly becoming a joke around campus, Microsoft Excel, which is Microsoft beyond tall. This is not at all what I heard, however. In fact, not only were skills like these not at the top of the list, they never even came up once during the entire meeting. Instead, we focused our entire conversation on topics like graduates being able to think independently and creatively. We talked about how graduates needed to demonstrate ethical behaviors, to take pride in their work, to show up on time and pass a drug test, and even just to be nice to their coworkers. I quickly realized that an academic credential in the so-called hard skills, like programming ability, might help you get a job initially, but they were not the defining characteristics that led to success. So not long after, I discovered some research by Martin Seligman and Christopher Peterson, in which they studied which specific character strengths did, in fact, most often lead to successful outcomes in life. The results of their research ultimately served as the foundation for the KIPP Academy, a network of publicly chartered K-12 schools across the country who make it a primary part of the institution's mission not only to prepare students academically, but to also instill these 7 all-important character strengths into their students. So for years, I had these character strengths written on a Post-it note in my office so that I would remind myself to practice them every single day. And I share them with you now to encourage you to do the same. Because as important as the studies and academic knowledge and accomplishments that you've had here are, I believe that these character strengths will do more for you than all of the knowledge you've managed to accumulate thus far. So the first character strength is zest. And ironically, that refers to energy and enthusiasm, as Sean was talking about, like when I'm talking about data points. So you are behaving zestfully when you are actively participating in an activity and you are fully engaged into it. Zestfulness is powerful because not only are you energized and living in the moment, but your energy and enthusiasm also invigorates others. It's a positive, contagious reaction, like a person who has a great smile that makes everybody else smile around them. Self-control is the second strength, and it actually has 2 independent sections. One is work-related and one is interpersonal. Work-related self-control refers to those things that go into being productive at work and school. This requires constantly reminding oneself of where you want to go and what you want to be so that you dedicate your time to the tasks that actually get you there. Interpersonal self-control is about being able to accept criticism, to not lose your temper, to stay focused through distraction, and to be polite to others. So self-control at its root is 1, work hard, 2, be nice. Grit is a combination of persistence and resilience. It's about overcoming a failure to try again, recognizing that we are not always going to win, but not quitting as a result. It's about not letting obstacles stand in your way, but rather persevering or actively seeking solutions to obstacles, not throwing in the towel at the first challenge or even the 10th challenge. Optimism is about having a positive outlook and truly believing in yourself, but it's also about getting over setbacks and frustrations easily. And part of getting over these is because you believe that your own effort will change your future. An optimistic person does not fall prey to the 3 Ps. They do not believe that their setbacks are personal, permanent, or pervasive to their entire lives. Curiosity is the excitement to explore new things. It's wanting to know how things work and having the passion to pursue that knowledge. And one of my favorite authors who I quote all the time, Thomas Friedman, once wrote that CQ plus PQ equals IQ, which translates into curiosity plus passion equals intelligence. And I believe it's the absolute truth. Gratitude is being thankful, just as the earlier part of my speech encouraged you to be. A huge character strength that will truly help you to succeed is to simply recognize and be thankful for the opportunities you have. It's not simply enough to feel gratitude, however. You must also be able to articulate it to those who deserve to hear about your gratitude. This is a different skill, but an indispensable part of gratitude. Feeling appreciation but not expressing it simply does not do the job. So when we leave here tonight, tell the people who supported you on your journey and helped you accomplish your achievements, thank you. And do it for real, in a heartfelt and sincere and specific manner. Lastly, social intelligence is knowing how to include others and being able to respect the feelings of others. Accurately reading the emotions and desires of others and having the respect to respond to these in an appropriate manner is a hugely important skill, because not only is it just the right way to treat others, but it will also help you resolve conflicts when they come up. So all of these skills have to become a part of your everyday life. They are not the things that you can focus on one day and then say you exhibit them. They have to become a regular and practiced part of who you are. You have to make decisions about them, genuinely strive to achieve them in every action you take. So if you would like to learn more about these character attributes and decide if they are strengths of yours, there's actually 17 others. I encourage you to visit viacharacter.org. This website is actually based on the research of Seligman and Peterson, who I mentioned earlier. I have absolutely nothing to do with it, even though it sounded like a pitch there. But I just thought you might be interested. So viacharacter.org, and it ranks you on 24 character strengths. So with that, I just want to reiterate that we are all very lucky to be part of something great. Let's not take it for granted and fool ourselves into thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. We live in a beautiful part of the world, and West Shore Community College is a great institution that is getting better every single day. So in the spirit of gratitude, thank you all. And that is directed not only to the students and the parents, but also to my colleagues and the faculty and staff here at West Shore for making it that way. My first year here has been very blessed, and all signs point to next year being even better. So congratulations once again on your accomplishments, and I look forward to hearing from you about all of the wonderful things you do with your careers and lives. Thank you.
So thanks, Mark. Marcus, can you come up on stage? So now we're doing the award part. Now is the part where we begin to hear about some of the excellent things, specific excellent things that students have done. The first part of this evening is the Student Organization Activities Program Awards, the SOAP Awards. A lot of the zest that you saw in the slideshow comes from the students that are about to be awarded here right now. It's difficult to have a small community college like this one have a campus feeling. The students that Marcus is about to award are the students who most contributed to us having a strong campus feeling. So Marcus Crook, the Director of Enrollment and Student Engagement.
Thank you. I'm humbled to be here tonight. I have seen these students all year long dedicate their lives to serving, helping others, having fun. And so I have up here with me Dr. Matt Sanderson. He's going to help present the words. The beautiful Dr. Matt Sanderson, I should say. we both advise Student Senate, which helps oversee the clubs and organizations. So we get started off tonight with Phi Theta Kappa. Could you please come join me on stage, please? Where are you guys at? So Phi Theta Kappa is a special organization. To be a member of this society, you have to have a 3.5 GPA and complete at least 12 college credits. So these students are fantastic students, but also they serve our community very well. So the Phi Theta Kappa did 2 service projects this year. The first one was a coat drive. This coat drive has been done the last 2 years, but they have coats set out and donated both in the Arts and Sciences building and our tech center for students who are in need. And that's been something that's been very special, and it's been highly successful as well. Many of the coats have been taken off, and we are very grateful for their service and dedication of Phi Theta Kappa doing this. The other service project that they did was helping out an animal shelter. They had a pet supply drive, and they're able to support this animal shelter through that pet supply drive. And so we are very proud of Phi Theta Kappa, and we want to present them with the Best Community Service Project Award. Thank you, Phi Theta Kappa. Law Enforcement Club, please come up. The Law Enforcement Club makes up a different type of college student, arriving here at 6:30 each morning for physical conditioning, followed by a full days of classes and putting in quite a few evenings and Saturdays through the semester. The Law Enforcement Club does fundraising to pay for their advanced training that is above and beyond the state curriculum. This year they have paid for their own TASER certification, which they do through selling chocolate bars to get tased. So think about that. And they rent a drive track for high-speed emergency vehicle operations. West Shore and the state police are the only groups that do this training. But only West Shore students pay for it by selling candy bars or participating in West Shore Watch. Please help me congratulate the Law Enforcement Club for receiving the Best Fundraising Initiative Award. Now, 1 second, stay up here. They do have one more award that we're giving them tonight, and that is for the Best RSO Event Award. The Law Enforcement Club has been involved in many different activities. A lot of these events have been focused on safety. These events include a drunk driving simulator, child car seat safety training, and West Shore Watch. Please give me a round of applause for the Law Enforcement Club again. Right now, they have to head back up to their high-speed track training up here on campus, so you guys may go now. Thank you. Future teachers of West Shore, please join me on stage. Future Teachers of West Shore Club is a professional development and networking group to help students with activities and connections they can use to prepare for professional service. This semester, they attended the Michigan Reading Association Conference in Grand Rapids. This is the premier conference for language arts educators in the state and featured presentations from authors as well as experts in the field and fellow educators. These students are already making use of their new skills from this experience and a presentation on reading aloud to children this coming Tuesday, which, if you're interested, is Tuesday, 7 p.m., room 301 here in the Arts and Sciences building. So please contact Sean Henney if you want to come. We are happy to present them with the Best Professional Development Award. SG3, please come up. Supportive Gamers, Geeks, and Galore, or SG3, is one of, if not the most engaged clubs on campus. They have held many events to cultivate a sense of community on campus. They have karaoke and game nights, held an end of semester party. They play Dungeons and Dragons and many other games daily in the cave. Excuse me, not the campus center, the cave. This club is the very essence of student life here at West Shore Community College. Please join me in congratulating SG3 on receiving the Most Engaged RSO Award. Yeah, not a good time. So Anya was not able to come tonight. I'm assuming she's at the movie. That's probably correct. She's part of SG3. Okay, that's unfortunate. She received the Outstanding RSO Officer Award. Student organizations depend on their officers to help define the mission of their groups, collaborate with campus departments, build plans, and achieve their goals. Each year, we look for an officer who shows leadership, dedication, creativity, and passion to make West Shore a better place. Throughout the academic year, Anya has shown unwavering dedication to her club and our students through planning and carrying out many events. There are few people more engaging and collaborative than Anya. She's very organized, professional, and eloquent in speech. Anya has been very active at West Shore Community College. She is part of ASM Tech, an officer in SG3 Club, and has also been vice president of Student Senate. Anya's impact on West Shore Community College has been great. She inspires all students to do more and be better. We are excited to see what else Anya has in store for West Shore Community College. Please join me in congratulating Anya for receiving the Outstanding Officer Award. We can just give that to Helen afterwards. Lilia Gonzalez Sandoval, come on up. The Outstanding Leadership Award is given to a student who has shown courage and vision to advocate for positive change on campus. Lily has been an advocate for positive change at West Shore for the last 2 years. She has led many campus events and initiatives to create a positive experience for students at West Shore. She is bold and courageous, has a passion for what she believes to be right. This last year, she helped apply for a grant, which led her to lead an initiative called the Truth Initiative. This initiative helped West Shore become a smoke-free campus. She has been in many leadership positions in student clubs and student senate. She exemplifies what a leader is, and I'm confident she will continue to be a leader after she leaves West Shore. Please join me in congratulating Lily for receiving the Outstanding Leadership Award. Skip that one. Film Club, please come up. I skipped them on accident, I'm sorry. The funny thing is I'm the advisor for that club, so. Since the Film Club was approved at the beginning of the winter semester, they have been very active. The Film Club has big goals of someday making the trek to Hollywood and seeing the behind-scenes action of the movie sets. They have been active and attending local shows and events surrounding film. They have also put on 4 movie nights at the college, providing food and entertainment for all students to enjoy. Please help me to congratulate the Film Club on their incredible semester and earning the Best New RSO Award. Anna, where are you at? I know she's here. Come on up, please. The Leadership Legacy Award is given to a student leader who has led through innovation, motivation, perseverance, exhibits the ideals of civility, mutual respect, promotes inclusiveness, and has unselfishly given her time and energy in service to the college, campus, and students above and beyond normal expectations. This student fits the description that Craig Johnson gave of a transformational leader. Transformational leaders become role models for followers who admire, respect, and trust them. They put followers' needs above their own, and their behavior is consistent with the values and principles of the group. Anna is a transformational leader. There has never been a student who has done more for West Shore Community College than Anna. She is beloved by everyone on campus. And the list of her accomplishments is too long to mention. Anna is a DACA student, which means she has to pay for college on her own, working 50 hours a week as a CNA and taking full-time classes as a student. Anna has dedicated dozens of hours in leading Student Senate, resolving conflicts, meeting with the president of the college, attending board meetings, and finding ways to improve West Shore for our students. Anna is creative, passionate, inclusive, determined, compassionate, tenacious, and dependable. She has been the Student Senate president for the past 3 semesters and has left a legacy that will not be forgotten. We all have been amazed by you, Anna. Thank you for all that you have done. It's my pleasure to give you this award, the Leadership Legacy Award. Congratulations.
So now we shift gears. Those are the kinds of activities and events and people and students who contribute outside the classroom to the energy we have in the classroom. Now we're going to talk about what happens in the classroom. So they're already in motion, but Dr. Brooke Portman, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, and Christy Christmas, the Dean of Occupational Programs, are about to introduce to you our students graduating with high honors who have earned a remarkable 3.75 to 4.0 GPA. Students, please proceed to the stage and line up in front of this table. When your name is called, you may pick up your certificate from Student Services table outside there after the ceremony. Now you're just coming up to get your moment in the sun.
Gabrielle Billow, Karina Brooks, Brett Brown, Jacob Edwards, Cassie Hook, Allie Johnson, Rebecca Johnson, Eliza Kriz, Chelsea Ledesma, Luciano Maniaci. I practiced that, I did. And yet I wanted to get both. Autumn Sanford, Bethany Shea, Hannah Vanderplug,
Elijah Andrews, John Barnard, Leah Boundy, Brooke Bunting, Daniel Deller, Hannah DeWitt, Kendall Felt, Dylan Fitzsimmons, Hannah Gremore, Sarah Luce, Christopher Latrow, Elizabeth Mantic, Kristen Matulis, Lisa Parks, Dawn Peters, Stephen Peterson, Melanie Smith, Emmeline Subkowiak, Amanda Swanson, Heather Vanderby. Kiara Williams.
You folks can sit back down. So those graduating with honors have earned a 3.5 to 3.749 GPA. And let me give a little perspective on that. So both that group of students we just cheered for, right, and the group that's about to come up, the honor students, they average better than a B in every single class they took at the college, right? So that's the cool thing we're celebrating right now, and it's one of the most fantastic things that I think we do. So again, Dean Portman and Dean Christmas, the honor students.
Grace Elvesteffer, Sophia Bailey, Devon Edmondson, Brandon Fisher, Amanda Mears, Abigail Pryor, Alexandra Sloan, Taylor Summers, Alec Trent, Emily Woods.
Ethan Berry. Jody Brewer. Chantal Brown. Kelsey Bruno. Kelsey Darling. Danielle Gerbers. Alan Michael Griffiths. Stephanie Kowalik. Felicia Lewis. Andrea Lynch. Taylor Mallison. Logan Merrick. Megan Moffett. Rachel Nelson. Ashley Smith. Jamie Smith. Hannah Stuck. Spencer Theo. Allison Thompson. Jennifer Tomey. Joshua Trim. Sarah Ward. Crystal Wyrick. Randy Zajac.
Congratulations and thank you, honor students. So this next portion of the honors, the awards program recognizes students have demonstrated excellence in specific disciplines. What that means is we're now letting you see behind the curtain, right? So what the students we just recognized have done excellent work in every class, but now we want to show you some of the really fantastic things that happen in our particular classes that fill the faculty with pride, and that's what we're doing right now. We're going to begin with the outstanding student in biology, who's Autumn Sanford. Can Autumn Sanford please join me on the stage with Dr. Michael McKinney, who's a professor of biological sciences. And while they're coming up here, I gotta get some English in here. So, biology, okay? This is now Greek. We did Latin earlier, let's do a little bit of Greek. Because that logy thing shows up all over the place, right? Psychology, sociology, right? Everyone, okay? So if you look this up in a dictionary, I'm sorry, I'm taking some of your time, but if you look this up in a dictionary, what's going to tell you is that's the study of life. Bio is life, but that's not what it really is, because that word logi comes from logos, which is the word. What that means is to speak the word of life. These are two people who speak the words of life.
Autumn. At the start, I have to say that having Autumn in Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2 and Microbiology has been a privilege. Now, to be considered for this award, a student must have taken at least 3 life science classes and have received an A in each of the class. This is over a period of 3 recent semesters. With this requirement, there are still 5 to 10 students that meet this requirement, And so what's the deciding factor? How do I decide, or how do Dr. Berlinski and I decide who is the outstanding recipient? And let me come back to that. There's an old joke told at the college and university level that when an instructor with a bachelor's degree is asked a question in lecture and doesn't know the answer, their response is, "I don't know." A lecturer with a master's degree responds, "I don't know, but I'll find out." And a PhD just lies. I have to say that MSU may need to revoke my PhD because Autumn asks questions that I can't even lie about to give an answer. Throughout the semester, I've received emails from Autumn asking a question. Our classes are rather fast-paced, and they don't always have time to get all the questions in that they want. So I have 2 examples of her questions. And some of her questions are really straightforward, and they're fairly easy to answer, such as, and I've rephrased this question a little bit. She says, "We have discussed hemolytic disease, and somewhere else we discussed anemia. Are the ABO epitypes in blood found on both leukocytes and erythrocytes, or just on erythrocytes?" That's a pretty straightforward question. But there are some questions that take longer to answer, and this is her exact question. "This was not on topic, so that's why I didn't ask this in class today. People say that if a person doesn't have a spleen, a dog's lick can kill them. Why is this? Is this even true?" Now, I tell my students there are things such as bad questions, such as, "Will this be on the exam?" But these 2 questions that I just used that Autumn sent to me are great questions. To me, it shows that Autumn isn't just trying to get a grade, but she's relating the information that she's learning to what is happening in the world. Also, she's taking information from 2 different classes altogether, anatomy and physiology and microbiology, and joining those ideas together. This is what makes her an outstanding student. She doesn't just learn material in a vacuum, but relates it to other classes and to life. What she has learned in her classes here at West Shore will be with her for the rest of her life and will help answer questions that she has, or at least know how to ask the right question to find the answer. Autumn, congratulations on an outstanding year.
And for the record, she asks those terrifyingly beautiful questions in Shakespeare class as well. So now we need the outstanding student in chemistry, Alex Pearson, and to present that award, Dr. Paul Belinsky, Associate Professor of Biological Sciences. This is a bit of an unusual one because Paul pitched in when we have our chemistry professor go on sabbatical, but it's a thing of beauty when we do that for each other. So here's Paul.
Evening, everyone. While I traditionally wear the clothes of a biologist, clearly tonight I'm dressed as a chemist. And that's to honor the hard work and dedication of one of our best students, Alex Pearson. Alex has done so much to deserve this award. Academically, Alex's performance is exceptionally strong. He can do the chemistry, he can do the biology, he can do the math, he can effectively communicate and collaborate. He has the work ethic, but perhaps most importantly, he reads the directions. I cannot understate how remarkable it is to watch Alex sit at a brand new protocol, whether it be in chemistry or biology, and really read, digest, hatch a plan of action, and figure out what he needs to do and what he's going to learn from it. He makes you think that any new material that you throw at him is actually part of his routine. He's focused. Early on, Alex told me of his career goals within the medical field. As an instructor, I usually try to spur a student on to try to achieve those goals, but Alex has always been his own driver. He continues to rise to his academic challenges and inches his way closer to his career every single semester. He recognizes the long-term commitment that it takes in order to serve his future patients. As a patient of many doctors myself, I can tell you that many of Alex's traits are exactly what I hope to see in the doctor's office. I expect my doctor to be incredibly good at chemistry since they will be prescribing me something, right? And Alex is certainly that. I also expect that the attentiveness that he brings to a lab manual will be doubled when actually talking to a patient, and we all can relate to how effective it is when a doctor actually listens to us. I expect that the expertise and science that he brings will only be sharpened through his, let's be real, many years of schooling to come. And I expect, and perhaps actually most remarkably, I expect that his never tired, always optimistic, and kind demeanor.
Going to flood the stage with language artists. This year there are 2 award winners. The way we do this, by the way, the professors get together to determine who gets these awards, and we couldn't decide in this case, those of us who are in the English department. So to the stage now, we need both Eliza Kriz and Nick Sidor, who are the outstanding students of communications. To present those awards will be Jody Radlaw, Professor of Composition, and John Wolf, Professor of Humanities.
Eliza has left a lasting impression on many of us in the communications division. Andrea Galley, our Spanish instructor, says, Eliza is a brilliant student. She enjoys a challenge and she always pushes herself to learn. She is articulate, confident, kind, and is a person of integrity. Sean Henney enjoyed the quiet and strategic chess matches he and Eliza engaged in as they wrestled the ideas of her essays forward in his composition courses. And Jennifer Lundberg-Anders, who had the pleasure of having Eliza in all 3 of her communications courses, calls Eliza earnest, dedicated, and humble, noting that perhaps the one area she can still provide Eliza a critique in is in her ability to see her natural and hard-earned strengths and talents. She describes her work with Eliza over the past few years with one simple word: joy. Personally, I've had the pleasure of working alongside Eliza in the Writing Center for the past 2 years. I have truly come to view Eliza not as a student, but as an amazing colleague. Working with student writing is not easy, but she was always able to look at the big picture and guide each student to become a better writer. She's also led various workshops where she took on a teaching role and created new resources we'll be using for many years to come. More times than I can count, I've had students stop me as I'm walking across campus to ask me, when does Eliza work? And then proceed to tell me what a great coach she is and how she helped them by bringing their own ideas to the forefront and truly teaching them how to put those ideas on paper. I've witnessed incredible transformation and tremendous growth in her self-confidence as well. Eliza is still as soft-spoken as the shy 14-year-old who started out taking classes here 4 years ago. 14, it's crazy. But she doesn't need to speak loudly to be heard because the respect she has gained along the way has taught people to listen. And I've even witnessed a little sassiness in the past few months. The beautiful kind that lights up her face and gets those critical thinking cells activated, having her, why? Or can't we make this better? Eliza is truly one of those bright and positive souls who brings such hope, and I think anyone who's encountered her here on campus can agree she makes the world around her a better place, and I can't wait to see all the marks she makes in the next chapter of her journey. Which brings me to my final point. In 2010, I actually graduated from Saginaw Valley State University with a degree in professional and technical writing. And we always used to get teased by our faculty members that we couldn't graduate until we could tell somebody the answer to the question that we always got, which is what in the world is professional and technical writing? It's kind of a mouthful, and it's one of those degrees that every student can really make their own. And I'm so very proud to announce that next fall, are you majoring in, Eliza? An answer that's all her own and really unique to her abilities. I also know that she'll continue to shine her amazing light on everyone lucky enough to learn with her and from her. On behalf truly of the entire communications division, we're so very proud of you and we're going to miss you. Congratulations, Eliza.
Let's see one for Nick. It's my great pleasure to present to all of you my student, Nick Seedor. Nick was selected as one of this year's award winners for many reasons. Of course, it's partly because he has taken a number of courses in the communications curriculum, and in part because he's been helping me and his advanced composition classmates pioneer the territory of West Shore's new AA and digital literacy degree program. Appreciate that. He also paid $29.95. But more importantly, it's just coming. It's in the mail. We're pleased to honor Nick tonight because he is an excellent communicator, one who, as both a writer and a speaker, has turned out consistently excellent work in Composition 1, Composition 2, Advanced Composition, and Interpersonal Communications. My colleague, Professor of Communications Jennifer Lundberg-Anders, had this to say about Nick. I admire Nick's ability to connect with his audience. Nick is willing to share wide-ranging life experiences in a manner that is wholly engaging and compelling. He is at best when he taps into his natural charisma as a storyteller and connects his energy to wide-ranging topics, from recognizing and treating PTSD to mandating the use of personal pronouns. Nick has been an asset to our class. The things that I most value about Nick are that he genuinely reflects on his life in a way that truly develops personal character. I've seen this. I saw him stop. He was like talking almost to himself, but loud enough for me to hear it. He had just had a conversation with a faculty colleague of mine, and he said, "I need to be more patient." I don't know what it was. I don't know what the conversation was or what it was about, anything like that, but I just thought that was a beautiful moment. Nick has the creativity, wisdom, and compassion to lead and serve successfully. It was wonderful to see him, for example, along with other students, speak about racism at our Martin Luther King Day commemoration this year, a daunting topic, but one that could not have been more skillfully handled. In a recent conversation about that day, I found my social science colleague, Professor Mike Nagel, and I completely agreeing on the nature of Nick's presence in our lives. Nick has, Mike said, great energy. He is creative, a wonderful guy, a great thinker, and a student that you can really rely on. He's one of those gems that every professor hopes to have in his classes. I really have relied on him heavily in advanced composition this past semester, so I've decided to flunk him so that he has to take class again. News about that later, Nick. But for now, he's here with us in northern Michigan and is combining his natural gifts as a communicator with the technological skills that are so highly prized in today's 21st century. So Nick can show you how to publish online, create an interactive map, or write and compose an explainer video, but at the same time, he is no slave to technology. This is where his balanced personality comes forward, something I really appreciate about him. He is equally at home when turning his light inward, reflecting on who he is, how his habits are born, questioned, and when necessary, changed. On this point, adjunct faculty member Natalie Grochowski writes a wonderful story about how Nick abandoned his love of podcasts, that commute time thing, for a period of 4 days. Imagine. He wrote, by the last day, he's talking about what it was like toward the end, I developed fluid movement. I felt like I had taken off a lead vest. I really enjoyed my quiet time. I was finding joy in small happenings, like seeing the same fox dash across the road every night on my way home. I didn't even want to listen to podcasts. I wanted to wrestle with my own thoughts. Natalie concludes with words to which I think all of us in the communications division cleave. Here they are, and it's about you. To be clear, this is the greatest gift a student can give any teacher, a commitment to wrestle with one's own thoughts, to live life a little more bravely and with greater reflection. Thank you, Nick, for giving yourself that gift and for passing that gift on to us. We so appreciate your presence on this campus. Thank you for being who you are.
Will Emmeline Sobkowiak please come to the stage? Something cool is happening here because Emmeline is being recognized for 2 awards. She not only is the Early Childhood Education Outstanding Student, but she's also the Social Sciences Outstanding Student. So we need Lisa Morley, Professor of Early Childhood Education, and Mike Nagel, Professor of History and Political Science, to present those 2 awards to Emmeline.
It is my pleasure to be here to say a few nice words about Emmeline. Emmeline has taken a total of 6 social science courses over the last 2 years, more than any other student. I've been lucky enough to have her in class for 2 terms, and she's always a willing and consistent contributor to discussion, and she's not afraid to offer her opinion on any subject. One of the things that I really like about her is that she gets history. History is, a lot of people think that history is memorization of names and dates and battles and provisions of acts passed by Congress or Parliament or something like that. Emmeline has demonstrated time and again that strong historical coursework requires much, much more. Instead, it involves critical thought, analysis and effective writing skills, and the development of a strong argument with supporting evidence. At the beginning of each term, I have students write what I call a mini biography. In the fall of 2017, Emmeline was in an American government class and shared that it was her first semester of college and that she was, quote, not overly obsessed with politics, but I think it's a good thing to learn about. She also wrote that she enjoys reading and declared, I've read a lot of historical fiction and love American, European, and medieval history. Now that's the kind of student that we like to have in our classes. And unfortunately, we don't get them all that often. For history classes, I should say. I recently learned that she likes to play hockey. And her favorite team is the Chicago Blackhawks. In fact, she's such a big fan that she's known in some circles as that crazy Hawk fan. Emmeline will be graduating next week with high honors and with a degree in early childhood education. Her goal is to serve as a child life assistant at a children's hospital working with young children. I am certain she will be a caring and professional advocate for many years to come. These are just a few of the many talents of Ms. Sobkowiak. So now I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Lisa Morley, who will offer some more.
Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, Emily. You're also receiving the 2019 Outstanding Early Childhood Educator of the Year. Some quotes from the early childhood faculty on why they selected Emmeline. She is soft, gentle, and so kind-natured, children gravitate towards her. She is the type of person that you just want to be in her presence, and the children want to share her space. Another quote. She holds herself in a high level of professionalism and has high expectations for the profession of early childhood. Emmeline's coursework while with us has demonstrated depth of knowledge necessary in the practice of teaching while observing and meeting the needs of children. And now I will quote Emmeline from one of her reflection essays. Deep, rich learning happens when teachers are involved. I will use this to guide my own teachings. I take immense pride in Emmeline, not only as my student, but now, today, as a colleague in early childhood. Congratulations, Emmeline. You didn't grab yours? Okay. Sorry, I can't grab either.
Leanna Rittenhouse and Dr. Matthew Sanderson, Professor of Philosophy, on the stage, please. And I have to do this one more time, because philosophia, okay? This one's the best one ever, because what that really means is the love of wisdom. But it's a special kind of love. The Greeks had different kinds of words for different kinds of love. This is a deep and abiding affection for a friend. You guys think about your best friend. That's the way these philosophers think about wisdom, okay?
That was my whole speech. I'm pleased tonight to give Leanna Rittenhouse the Outstanding Student in Philosophy Award. I consider this something of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Leanna began taking philosophy classes with me and impressing me greatly when she was still in high school about 5 years ago. Since then, she's overcome some personal challenges and returned to college this year ready to rock. In my area of the world, she's been kicking butt and taking names all semester long. She's currently on track to earn an A in my Introduction to Ethics course. In addition, she's seized upon every opportunity I've offered her. Every time I'm surprised that she takes me up, I say, you want to do this too? You want to do this? She does it. She's a note taker for the ethics course. She's also serving as the only philosophy tutor for the college. Recently, she was the only representative from West Shore to attend a professional philosophy conference in Grand Rapids. She's been working as my philosophy assistant this semester and doing a very fine job. And last but not least, she has single-handedly revitalized the philosophy club, holding lively weekly meetings and building a dedicated following over the last couple of months. It's a real joy working with Leanna because she is easily one of the most talented young philosophers I've ever known. Definitely in the top 2 or 3 in my 20-year teaching career. She just has it all: razor-sharp critical thinking skills, tireless, fiery energy for dialogue and debate, a passionate desire for truth, beauty, and justice, and a deep, big-picture appreciation for the weirdness of life, as evidenced by her joyous sense of humor for all things absurd. We were just laughing today about how funny old-school duels are. Isn't that hilarious? Most of all, I admire Leanna's integrity. She always stands up for her beliefs, no matter how unpopular they are or uncomfortable they make you feel. As a result, I'm already proud to consider her more of a colleague than a student. Please join me in congratulating Leanna Rittenhouse, our outstanding student in philosophy.
There's only highlights tonight, right? The final portion of the program recognizes 2 particularly exceptional graduates from the class of 2019. The West Shore faculty has the pleasure and the often difficult choice of selecting only 2 students for this award. Candidates for the award are evaluated on these criteria. They need a GPA of 3.5 or above, and they need to demonstrate outstanding community service, leadership experience, and motivation to excel. Dr. Brooke Portman, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, will introduce the outstanding graduate in Arts and Sciences, and welcome back to the stage, Eliza Chris.
Eliza Kriz is the 4th child of 6. She has been homeschooled from her early grades and then, at 14, started to include college classes. In her first West Shore course, she earned an A, and she's been earning A's ever since. She told me this past week that to get started at West Shore, she looked at paths of her older sibs, and she learned a thing or two. And while she also looked at who she was and where her own gifts were, she didn't see a clear path for herself yet. She did exactly what one should do in that case. She took a variety of classes. At first, nothing came forward, but like for so many of us, finding out what doesn't excite us is just as important as what does. And soon, Eliza did discover what excites her. In fact, she discovered she has 2 passions, not just one for business and one for communications. And now she leaves West Shore to enter a bachelor's in, as Jody said so excitedly, professional and technical writing, a major where she gets to pursue both interests. But I don't want to mislead you. Eliza Kriz isn't waiting 2 years to start this kind of work. The reason she's been selected by the Arts and Science faculty as the outstanding student in Arts and Sciences, outstanding graduate in Arts and Sciences, is because she has demonstrated the smarts, yes, but it's also because of her initiative and, frankly, her generosity to share what she has learned with others. We have heard tonight the utter admiration and joy from that Professor Jody Radloff feels, as well as Andrea Galli, Sean Henney, Jennifer Lundberg-Anders. But what Jody didn't have time to tell you about was what she leaves behind, and I want to take a moment to do that. Eliza developed a module about outlining for the Writing Center coaches. It's a rather complex and expanded outlining required by several courses. Don't know. It meant that she needed to not only develop content and pacing, she had to learn how to maneuver the software system as a faculty member does. She developed, she didn't have to, but she chose to develop quizzes to help student coaches assess if they needed to gather more knowledge and skill before assisting students. And she selected examples of work, again, as good teachers do. This is amazing work for a person who is still a student, and one of the reasons Eliza is receiving this award. I also want to say something else that is very important. After I read Eliza's application, that prompted the faculty to select her for this award. I then asked them to share with me anything else they had that would give me even more insights into Eliza. Professor Mike Nagel, he spoke earlier of those mini biographies, always asks students to respond in writing to 4 or 5 questions on that first day of class. Well, he keeps those papers, and he gave me Eliza's paper from that first day in his class during her second semester here. The difference between Eliza's response at the very start of her college career here and how she answered the questions for the application for this award was awe-inspiring. The depth of her thinking and reflection and the style of her writing had truly transformed from that early semester to this final one. She's a beautiful writer and thinker. It is clear why the faculty have selected Eliza as this year's outstanding graduate, and it is clear she is ready for Saginaw Valley State University. There may be juniors at SVSU who are older than Eliza, but there are none more prepared. All of us here at West Shore, Eliza, look forward to how you will use the knowledge you have gained here and that you will continue to gain through your studies in the years ahead to shape and craft professional work that will be meaningful to you and to the society we live in. Congratulations on achieving the Outstanding Graduate Award of Arts and Sciences for 2019.
To the stage now, Christy Christmas, Dean of Occupational Programs, who will be introducing the Outstanding Graduate in Occupational Programs, Danielle Gerbers.
I'm looking for Danielle because after they were here for the RSO Awards, she had to go back over and take a test and do some driving and then come back over for her award now. So if you hear tires squealing and all those kind of things as you leave, if you're leaving out to Stiles Road, they're going to be driving till 11 o'clock tonight. So it's part of their night driving training. When faculty create an assignment for a course, they hope it will be meaningful, educational, even impactful for a student. Our 2019 Outstanding Occupational Graduate originally started her education at Muskegon Community College with a plan to pursue nursing. Little did Danielle know, an assignment in an Introduction to College course, much like our first-year seminar, would change the direction of her life. The instructor assigned a job shadow experience, and Danielle chose 2 ride-alongs with officers from the Mason County Sheriff Department. Thank you to Officer Dan Dice and Officer Matt Wormuskirchen. Originally, I think that she thought it would just be fun to be on the ride-along. Instead, the experience altered her career choice. Danielle is enrolled in the police academy and is scheduled to graduate in a little over a week. She is seeking full-time employment as a police officer and wants to remain in the local area, giving back to the community she grew up in. And she says, with that infectious smile that she has, that she would like to someday be the sheriff of Mason County. So I'm thinking I need to kind of tell Sheriff Cole that now to be prepared. The terms hardworking, passionate, and tenacious are synonymous with Danielle's personality. She is spirited, driven, friendly, and simply does not know the word quit. Danielle credits her success to the endless support given to her by her mom and dad, Bob and Cindy Gerbers, and her grandfather, Ted Weinert. She also complimented the faculty at West Shore and is appreciative of the knowledge she has gained while here. Her brother, Tristan, is also here tonight to share in the joy of her award, and her sister, Jessica, was unable to make it tonight. I think softball, right? Good for her. Earlier this semester, our office received a nomination request for the Breaking Traditions Award, given by the State of Michigan Office of Career and Technical Education. It is given to students who have selected careers based on their interest and their abilities, and who have not allowed gender to influence their pursuit of their chosen career pathway. This award allows us to highlight student achievement and recognize role models for other students considering a non-traditional career. Danielle's nomination for this award was supported by Elizabeth Remick, Mason County Emergency Management Coordinator, Director Deller, and myself. Ms. Remick, in her letter of recommendation, noted the following. Danielle is a committed student and driven individual who would undoubtedly excel in any career she chose. However, Danielle has chosen to pursue unique career paths for her gender. Her dedication to serving her community, both as a firefighter and law enforcement officer, is commendable and should be awarded. Director Deller added the following. While she is determined, competent, and has a great work ethic, she is also very approachable, personable, and helpful to her fellow students. She has been a joy and an inspiration to work with during her time here. We received word last week that Ms. Gerbers was selected to receive a Michigan 2019 Breaking Traditions Award Certificate of Recognition. Congratulations, and we'll give that to her tonight. Danielle has an overall grade point average of 3.673. She will graduate with 2 Associate of Applied Arts and Sciences degrees, 1 in criminal justice and 1 in corrections, and she also will receive a 1-year certificate in emergency telecommunicator. Danielle served 3 internships, only required to do 1, at the Mason County, or Mason Oceana 911 Center, the Emergency Management Office of Mason County, and with the Public Safety Department at the Village of Pentwater Police Department. She is a volunteer on the Riverton Fire Department and the Mason County Search Management Team, and continues to assist the Emergency Management Office when she is able. She volunteers at the Mason County Animal Shelter and at Our Savior Lutheran Church, where she serves many breakfasts and dinners. Advice Danielle would give to others: confidence is key. Determination and work ethic take you far. And always maintain a good attitude. Being confident in yourself, your knowledge, your training, and your agency is important. Good work ethic in today's generation is almost non-existent, she says. Be persistent and determined towards all your career goals. Go above and beyond. Danielle chose her career path because she knows she will be able to help people on their worst days in some way, shape, or form. She says, I realize that I cannot change the world, but I can ignite a positive change to my corner of it, and the community of Mason County seems like a great place to start. Congratulations, Danielle. I have no doubt that you will make a difference through your service to your community, to your family and friends, and to your fellow officers. Thank you for your passion and for your desire to challenge yourself first and then be a role model for others. Congratulations.
So that does conclude our ceremony. I want us to finish, though, thinking about one of the skills that Mark taught us about. So we're going to gear up for another round of applause based on gratitude. Remember that? That was a skill, that we can cultivate gratitude, and the cultivation of gratitude is one of those things that leads to success. So think about gratitude right now from a couple different ways. Sarah Schaefer put together that display we had on the screen to begin with. Anna Miller and Anna Miller's team fed you guys with that beautiful spread that was out there. And we can't, yeah, isn't that an amazing thing? We're building gratitude here, right? West Shore Community College is supported by you folks, by the taxpayers, right? Continues to support this college. This college exists because the community supports it. So the people of the community made this happen tonight. The West Shore faculty and staff, all the administrators that work so hard to bring this stuff to the students, and every one of you who supported your students, right? There are grandparents and parents and brothers and sisters and children that have been active part of this ceremony. There still are, right? All that kind of thing. Those people are all part of this too that we're grateful for. But you guys know, the students know, that you need to be grateful for each other, for the one who studied with you, who drove you, who picked you up when you needed to be picked up. So you guys all supported each other. We have so much to be grateful for. Our last round of applause then is for all of that stuff, for all the employees, all the staff, all the faculty, each other, parents, grandparents, for the slideshow, for the food. Let's just do one last round of applause and end this ceremony. Thank you. Thank you and good night.